Hey, what's up guys? Matt with the Movement System. In this video, we're going to talk about how to become a strength and conditioning coach. I've had the privilege to work in the field of strength and conditioning, as well as help others get their first job in strength and conditioning. So I want to share with you guys some tips and strategies for how to get your first job in strength and conditioning. We're going to talk about 4 steps that most people will go through in terms of getting their certification, moving on to an internship, and then the all-important job interview. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about exactly what I did to get my first job in strength and conditioning. Let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, step number 1 is obtaining your CSCS certification. There are other certifications out there, especially internationally, but I'm just going to cover the CSCS because that is the gold standard that is most recognized in the industry. The NSCA CSCS exam is a very challenging exam. It does require you to have a 4-year bachelor's degree. Currently, it doesn't have to be in exercise science or kinesiology. You could have, for example, a business or communications degree and currently sit for the exam. But you do need a 4-year degree, and then you also need to extensively study the book. This is like 600 pages, very dense book, so get this book. That's step number 1 if you haven't already, and start studying. I do have a link in the description below to get the book, as well as a link to join the Strength and Conditioning Study Group on Facebook. If you are studying for the CSCS exam, that group will be really helpful with practice questions and live videos and other things to help you prepare. Typically, I recommend studying for a minimum of 2 to 3 months for the CSCS exam. I actually have a full study calendar that you guys can get if you join my email list, which is also linked in the description below. It's a free study calendar that I just updated. That way you guys can check off the chapters that you're done with as you work through week by week. This should help you stay organized and get through that book and get your certification. Moving on to step number 2, we have getting an internship. This is something that you may do as you're studying for the CSCS, or maybe even in your last semester of college. A lot of people, though, do an internship after they graduate from college. An internship is actually probably the most important thing. About 95% of people who work in the field of strength and conditioning end up there through an internship. Most of these are unpaid, and they take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. It may seem like a big time commitment up front to spend weeks or months of unpaid work in the gym, but this is actually really important for helping you understand if you like the day-to-day role of strength and conditioning, and also for helping you network and learn the job. This is pretty much essential to getting a job in strength conditioning. Some people may get away with not doing one, but most people have to do at least 1 unpaid internship and often 2 or 3 unpaid internships before they can transition into a full strength and conditioning job. You might be wondering about education, and do you need a bachelor's degree? Do you need an exercise science degree, a master's degree? Really, it depends. There's no standard in the field of strength and conditioning of what you exactly need. For example, for physical therapy, you need a doctorate of physical therapy to practice physical therapy. But for strength and conditioning, there are people who are practicing in the field of strength and conditioning as a strength coach with no formal exercise science degree or background, who just learned on the job. And then there's other people who have a full exercise science degree and a master's degree, and maybe even graduate level training. If you can, I think it's a good idea to get an exercise science or kinesiology or a physical education degree, because it probably will set you up for the best path to passing your CSCS exam, getting an internship, and moving forward with the field. That said, a lot of people do really well transitioning with a business degree or communications degree and just going the route of doing an internship or multiple internships and self-studying for the CSCS. I think if you're looking to work at the high school level or in a private practice, you can get away with a 4-year degree and an internship and having your CSCS, even if it's an unrelated degree. If you want to move into the college or professional setting, it seems like more of those jobs are requiring a master's degree in exercise science or strength and conditioning, but that's not every job. The thing to focus on first is getting your CSCS, getting an internship, and getting some experience coaching athletes. And there is always the opportunity to go back for a master's if you're not able to find a strength and conditioning job, or if you find one and you want to continue working while you're doing your master's. All right, step number 3 is being proactive in getting an interview and being very prepared for this interview. This is the best advice I can give you. Everyone is going to come into that interview with a resume, with some experience, and with a passion for the field of strength and conditioning. You have to do something to set yourself apart. Some things that I would recommend to set yourself apart is to actually prepare a full portfolio of programs that you've written to show your experience and your preparation. Write a program that's strength-based, write a hypertrophy program, write a power and plyometric program, write a program for cross-country runners. Have your experience writing these programs, be organized, and bring them to the interview, because the other 10 people who interview probably aren't going to go out of their way to do that. That will set you apart and help you get the job over the other 10, 15, 20 people who are also submitting their resume, who are also passionate about the field. I would also recommend to take videos of yourself coaching movements and coaching athletes. Even if no one watches them, or even if your employer doesn't look at them, it will show initiative that you've actually taken the time to take a video of yourself coaching another athlete, and it'll show that you're actually really interested in this field. I cannot emphasize enough to be over-prepared for the interview and do more work than everyone else. You guys probably come from an athletic background, and you know the person who hustles and works and wants it the best is the person who's gonna shine through, and that employer is gonna notice. That said, even if you do come very prepared for the interview, it is a very competitive job market and you may not get the job. Be ready to repeat the process and go to that next interview and prepare just as hard again. Step 4 is to repeat step 3 and keep applying, keep working on building your skills to get better and better until you can actually break through and get that first job. You may need to work part-time on the side as you're doing these unpaid internships and as you're doing these interviews. Even whenever I was doing my strength and conditioning internship at Ohio State, I would squeeze in during my lunch period a personal training client to work with. And then a lot of days even go work with personal training clients after my last athletes of the day. So that way basically the entire day from like 5:30 a.m. to 7, 8, 9 p.m. sometimes, I was training clients. It's busy, it's a lot of work, it's hard, but you have to get through that if you want to excel in that field. I want to also mention that you should continually be developing your communication and interpersonal skills to be a better coach. The key to actually getting that role is to be such a good coach that they have to hire you. Be so proactive, be so committed to learning that they would be crazy to not hire you. That's the key to actually getting the job. If you're that qualified, that prepared, and putting in more time and more work than anyone else, then you're going to find a way to enter the field and be successful in the field of strength and conditioning. All right, so now I want to talk about exactly what I did to get my first job in the field of strength and conditioning. So I was able to get a job as a high school strength and conditioning coach part-time right after my 500-hour unpaid strength and conditioning internship at Ohio State. The way that I was able to find that position was actually through LinkedIn. I was on there for months just searching strength conditioning, strength coach, strength and conditioning coach, anything related to that, to find any jobs in my area that would pop up. As soon as a job popped up, I was on it. I immediately applied. When it came time for that interview, I came prepared. I had a folder with programs that I'd written. I had ideas down specific for what I could do to help the individual program that I was going to work at. This took a lot of time to prepare, but it was able to set me apart from all the other applicants who probably just came with maybe a resume. I took the first part of the interview and listened very carefully to what the head strength conditioning coach was looking for and did not interrupt with my experience or what I know. I really focused on showing that I have a growth mindset, that I would be a good fit for the program, and that I was willing to work hard. You don't want to go in there and just show how much you know, because whether it's a head strength conditioning coach or an athletic director who is hiring you, they don't actually care how much you know. This is the same for as you're starting an internship. It doesn't matter how much you know, it just matters that you're willing to learn and that you're dedicated and willing to work hard. That's what you have to show in the interview. You have to be prepared to show that. The field of strength conditioning is incredibly rewarding. The high school strength conditioning job that I had is the best job that I've ever had, and I loved every minute of working there. If you guys also have a passion for this job in this industry and you want to help athletes get stronger, stay healthy, then I hope this video really helps you in preparing and getting your foot in the door. Alright, I hope this video is helpful for you. Make sure you go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you want to learn more, you can also follow the Movement System podcast on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, as well as follow along on Instagram at the Movement System. If you guys do have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them. And you can always send me a direct message on Instagram. I'm happy to help you there any way I can. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.